Hi, guys, and welcome to another episode of Against the Turn. We are currently 2 days away from the final test between England and India, and what a series it's been. So, before the fifth test happens at Old Trafford, the team at ICF, thought that it would be prudent to come through with some discussion on the issues plaguing team selection, especially with the Indian cricket team. To that end, without wasting much time, I'd like to welcome fellow ICF admin Akbian. You may know him as Jalebi Bhai. And we are also joined by famous poster Vayu. So welcome Akbian and welcome Vayu.
Hey, Amit. Thanks a lot for the intro. It's been a while, and I'm really happy to be back doing these discussions with you.
Yeah, hi, Ame. Yeah, it's good to be back. It's been a very long time. I guess since COVID, we haven't been able to be in touch. So yeah, it's good to be back in discussions.
All right. As I said, we at ICF always want to reach out to more and more posters through Against the Turn podcast or YouTube channel. So it's good to see that, regular posters are participating as well. So without much ado, let's get into it because I'm sure that, even our listeners want us to get to the point. If you look at ICF, probably half the threads currently on the first page are talking about Ajinkya Rahane. So, blunt question out there: do you think Rahane should be dropped or given a final chance? What do you think, Vayu?
I feel he's low on confidence. Um, don't get me wrong. I mean, he has been a match winner for us, but you can see in this series, uh, for past 2 years, not even this series, for past 2 years, he has been a pale shadow of himself. So what I will do is I will play Vihari in his place. Even if you don't want to play Ashwin, with Vihari, you get the off spinning option plus a bit of depth in batting. I mean, I'm sure he cannot do worse than Rahane. That's what I believe.
Okay, that seems fair. So, extending the floor to Akwian, do you feel Rahane should retain his place? And building on what Vayu said, who would you replace him? I think realistically the options are Surya Kumar Yadav, Agarwal, Bihari. Who would you choose?
Okay, so regarding the first part of the question, yeah, I think he should be dropped. Less so for the team's sake, more for his own sake, because he's somebody I do want to see him succeed, but it's very sort of depressing to watch him play sometimes. It's very frustrating because he has a lot of talent, but in a way he's sort of let us all fans down. So yeah, for his own sake, I think he needs a break. And regarding the second part about his replacement, I agree once again with Vayu that we should go with Vihari. He'll give us the additional spinning option. So if we do need a sixth bowler, we don't have to rely on Kohli bowling his dibbly dobblies, or Mayank, or any other random guy. Vihari is a decent part-time option, so I think we should go with Vihari as Rahane's replacement. It's unfortunate, but again, this is Virat Kohli we're talking about. The king of, I don't know, weird and wacky selections. Don't be surprised if Rahane plays the final test as well. In the name of just sticking to a winning combination.
Okay, thank you for your opinion. There seems to be a degree of unanimity in what your choice. For the record, I would also go for Bihari purely because he does give that spinning option, which can be handy on day 4 and 5. Okay, so I think the remaining or the only other selection conundrum is Siraj appears to be very much tired. That's the impression I got, and there's a lot of rumors saying that he would be replaced by somebody. So again, Old Trafford is known to spin. So the option in front of India is: do you replace Siraj with either Ishant or Shami or Ashwin? What do you think about that, Akbian?
So yeah, I also feel that Siraj he looks like gassed out, especially I think it was probably the second innings in Headingley. And second innings, I mean the second innings of the match, where we had to toil for, I think, almost 2 days out there, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, I think it was a day and a half. Sorry. So yeah, for about a day and a half and a little bit more, our bowlers had to toil out there. So he looked gassed to me. And normally the one thing about Siraj is his intensity is really, really good. But in the last test, he just seemed down on energy. So yes, replace him. And I would go with Mohammad Shami. I sort of see them as similar type of bowlers. So yeah, Shami. Ishant, I wouldn't be too upset if Ishant was also, opted in place of Siraj. Either one of those two will, I think, be fine, Shami or Ishant. But my preference goes to Mohammad Shami.
Okay, that seems to be pretty clear. Vayu, do you agree with that? Who would you have in case Siraj is rested because he's tired? Would you do Shami? Would you do Ishant? Or would you play Ashwin to give that extra batting?
100% Shami. There's no two way about it. I mean, Shami is a match winner, out and outright match winner. I mean, Siraj, yes. Siraj's problem is not just he's tired out, but if you see at his wrist position, I mean, he's kind of bowling with a scrambly seam. So when you notice his bowling in Australia, it was much bowled upright. With that, he was not only getting movement, but was extracting bounce as well. I don't know why. I don't know who has given him this advice, but he looks tired. His wrist is all over the place. You can see that from second test onwards, his performance has dropped a bit. Shami is a match winner. He's a proven match winner, and also taking into account the conditions at Old Trafford, it's going to be cloudy on all days. So you will go with four seamers and Jadoo plus Vihari if needed, in case it starts spinning. So that will be my combo.
Okay, I mean that's a very good observation on the seam position. So I'm glad that you raised that, because even I was wondering that he seemed to be less and less impactful as the series gone on. So thank you very much for that observation, Vayu. So okay, moving on to my final question here. I think Vayu touched upon it right now. You mentioned that the weather is overcast, and based on what I can see from the weather in Manchester 2 days from the test, the first day especially, there seems to be quite a bit of doubt whether it'll be a washout or there will be overcast rain or anything like that. So given this in mind, if you win the toss, and Old Trafford is not known to be too kind to large fourth inning chases, if you win the toss, what would you do? Would you put England in, considering it's overcast, or would you back yourself to bat in overcast conditions through the first day so you get your advantage in the fourth inning?
Look, you have to judge conditions by how they are at that time, instead of what will happen in 4 to 5 days. Nobody can predict what is going to happen in 4 or 5 days. Look, Gabba was supposed to be Australia's fortress, but we conquered it. We were not supposed to win at Oval. We won it. So let's just take it one day at a time. Considering the condition, if by the grace of God we win the toss, let's just say bowling first would be a better option. Considering there is moisture, I'm sure England won't give you flat pitch like they gave you in Headingley. So I think the better option would be insert them, maintain the same pressure because the batting would be in pressure, and seize initiative.
Okay, that seems absolutely clear from Vayu. Thank you very much for your opinion. Akpian, do you agree with what it said? Do you basically play for conditions on that day, or do you take the view of the entire test and history of what Old Trafford can do in the fourth innings?
Yeah, I think I'll have to agree with Pawan again, because here's the thing with toss is you really can't make your decision based on what's going to happen on day 3 and day 4, because quite frankly, the match might not even end up lasting that long. So you really have to make your decision based on what the conditions are on day one. So now, I really don't know what they should do. I'll be very honest with you. It's very, very conflicting and very, very confusing because our batting, it can be good, it can be atrocious. It's a bit of a lottery. I'm sort of hoping that Kohli doesn't win the toss so that he doesn't have to decide because, quite frankly, it's going to be very difficult. Historically speaking, I guess chasing has been difficult in Manchester. So I think the common sense thing would be to bat first. But the last time we played in Manchester, we got absolutely hammered by England when we batted first. We were 8 for 4. So again, it's crazy. I don't have a clear answer for this. I'm sorry, but I'm actually hoping Kohli doesn't win the toss. Let Joe Root make the mistake. Kohli we know is he's a bit of a wild card with tosses. Let Joe Root make the mistake, or let him have that decision, that difficult decision to make.
Okay, thank you for both your opinions. I mean, I tend to agree with the rationale of your choices that you can, especially with why you said, and you can only make a decision with what is in front of you. You can't really do much or do anything about what might happen. As Akwin rightly mentioned, in 2014, we were inserted by England. We were 8 for 4, and the match didn't even reach the final day. So spin or anything like that was basically thrown out of the window. So, an interesting conundrum for Kohli if he does win the toss, and maybe it would not be a bad toss to lose given the weather. That seems like a fair assessment. So in summation, thank you very much for listening to this YouTube video or this podcast, whatever format you're listening to in September 2021. I'd like to thank Akwin and Vayu for their frank opinions. So the bottom line is that the think tank at ICF would like Vihari to play in place of Rahane. We would like Shami to come in for Siraj, and we would put England in, subject to there being an overcast conditions overhead due to rain, if Kohli does win the toss. So with that, I say good evening, good morning, and good night, based on when you're listening to this particular podcast or YouTube video. And this is Amay and Team ICF saying goodbye, and we hope that India will win the 5th test at Old Trafford. Good luck. Bye.